Good afternoon, everybody. Let me first of all just thank you for being here, and I recognize that we are here to celebrate a legislative milestone and a great step forward in keeping our state competitive, but I wanted to start real quick by just taking time to honor one of our fallen heroes. Marty and I just came from the funeral for Lieutenant Helio Armando Garcia, who, as you all know, tragically lost his life in service to his fellow Georgians. We're also mindful of Lieutenant Charles Cook and his family, who also serves with the South Fulton Police Department. He is going to endure a tough recovery following last weekend's violent attempt on his life when he was shot 3 times exiting his patrol car during a traffic stop. I just want to ask all of you and my fellow Georgians to do like our family's doing and just hold these folks in your thoughts and prayers, certainly over the next several weeks, and continue to pray for these victims and their loved ones, along with all our law enforcement throughout this state and our country. Despite what some in the media will try to tell you, men and women like this make our communities stronger, safer, and better. They put their lives on the line for us every single day, and they deserve our unfailing respect and appreciation for those sacrifices. Lieutenant Garcia and Lieutenant Cook are perfect examples of that, and we will continue to hold them in our thoughts and prayers in the coming days and weeks. I know that Lieutenant Governor Jones, Speaker Burns, Commissioner King all agree with that sentiment. So do all those who have joined us here today. So I want to thank them for supporting our law enforcement, as well as for their support of the legislation that I will sign this afternoon. Thank you all very much. The people you see up here and the others who couldn't make it with us today were with us through every step of the process. And I think we've been interrupted by live programming. The people you see up here and others who couldn't be here today were with us through this every step of the process, and we would not be here today without their steadfast leadership. Insurance and Fire Safety Commissioner John King, who undertook the task of studying this issue last year following the passage of HB 1114, the Data Analyst for Tort Reform Act, and his work and advocacy were essential to crafting this legislation and its passage. Thank you, Commissioner King. Through over 25 hours of public testimony and countless hours behind the scenes, Senate President Pro Tem John Kennedy did not stop working for us to get to this moment. Everyone here today and every job creator and hardworking Georgian who will benefit from this legislation is grateful for your tireless efforts, Senator. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Carried the legislation in the House. He unfortunately could not be with us this afternoon, but he was also instrumental in gaining support from his colleagues, and we are thankful for the job well done. And a job well done to the members and leadership in both the Senate and the House who supported SB 68 and 69. I appreciate all of your work on these bills. And finally, to the members of the business and healthcare community who advocated for tort reform for years and stood shoulder to shoulder with us throughout this process, thank you for being here and for your unwavering dedication to making positive things happen. We appreciate you all. Thank you. Today is a accumulation of a process that began nearly 2 years ago. We had heard for years about the need for meaningful tort reform in our state to ensure our business environment remained competitive. In August of 2023, I announced my administration would seek to bring balance to Georgia's courtrooms, provide relief to our job creators, and stabilize the insurance marketplace for consumers. We heard from many stakeholders across various industries, and my administration prioritized the passage of HB 1114, which gave Commissioner King's office the tools it needed to make recommendations to the legislature in my office based on data and facts. Their report was clear. Action was desperately needed to stabilize our insurance marketplace and to protect our consumers. But we didn't stop there. My office also held multiple roundtables around the state to hear from industries across the spectrum that were facing unsustainable hits to their bottom lines from out-of-control premiums thanks to ever-increasing lawsuit costs. Child care facilities, truckers, restaurant owners, doctors, hospitals, grocery store owners, gas station companies, you name it. The calls for change came from every sector of Georgia's economy. The status quo was simply unacceptable. The comprehensive, common-sense measures we proposed just a few months ago were a direct result of these conversations and ensured our legal environment put Georgia on equal footing with neighboring states who compete with us for jobs and investment. But our work did not end there. In the weeks that followed, we continued to meet with stakeholders and legislators to hear how we can ensure we had a carefully crafted final product. The package received numerous hearings throughout the legislative process, both in the Senate and then in the House. We listened to legitimate concerns raised by legislators, advocates, and stakeholders alike, and made changes to ensure those concerns were addressed and the legislation was strengthened throughout the legislative process. Perhaps most importantly, together, we tuned out the noise. We stood strong against the lies and false attacks, and we did what was right for the people who elected us. In the end, both of these bills accomplished our goal of leveling the playing field in Georgia's courtrooms and ensuring our business environment remains the best in the nation. Senate Bills 68 and 69 bring Georgia into alignment with neighboring states and protect the rights of both sides to a fair trial. Let me be clear. If you are wronged in this state, you deserve to be made whole, and you still can be by bringing your claim before a jury. This legislation protects that very right. SB 68 and 69 simply bring transparency and fairness to a process that has been abused for too long, that has driven up costs for businesses and consumers alike. I'm proud to sign these two bills today, and I'm proud of the thoughtfulness and care that went into crafting them. This was not an easy road to go down, but I want to thank everyone who supported this effort for their courage to take on a tough issue and help deliver relief for the people of our state. But most importantly, let's thank the good Lord we didn't have to have a special session. And with that, I'll turn it over to a great partner in this effort, our Lieutenant Governor, Burt Jones.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Governor Kemp, for those words. We really appreciate your leadership on this effort. SB 68 69 was something that was definitely a team effort on behalf of the Senate and the House. I want to thank Speaker Burns and Leader Burchett for the hard work that they did, as long as every member of the House. I also want to thank Senator Kennedy for his hard work. I know he really worked hard and really went through a lot of testimony and just put in a lot of hours on trying to make this thing happen. Commissioner King as well, the hard work that he's done the last 2 years on this subject matter. We think this is a measure that was very fair. It was a process that we engaged everybody who was going to be affected by it, both the ones that wanted it and the ones who did not want to see it. And we think at the end of the day, this is a bill. These bills are good for businesses and they're good for the consumers. So appreciate like I said, the team effort. from the governor's office and the speaker's office, and we look forward to signing this into law here, Governor. So I recognize Speaker Burns for a few comments.
You do. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. We appreciate your leadership in getting this done. Governor Kemp, certainly appreciate what you've done to ensure that we got this done. Yes, sir, you do know what I know. It's a great day to be a Georgian. I think y'all agree with me on that. And one step further, it's a great day for every Georgian across this state, because today, Governor Kemp is signing into law an historic measure, the most comprehensive package of lawsuit reform that our state has seen in nearly 2 decades. Last year, during our interim, I was proud to join with Governor Kemp as he hosted roundtable discussions where we heard from Georgia's businesses about the issues they're facing. And the consensus was clear. The cost of insurance is crippling many companies who are already struggling to stay afloat here in our state. Coming into the 2025 session, we knew that sensible, measured lawsuit reform was needed to return stability to our insurance market and balance to our courtrooms, and this legislation, SB 68 and 69, does just that. The House Special Subcommittee of Rules on Lawsuit Reform heard over 15 hours of testimony from Georgians and stakeholders on every side of this issue, ensuring that the legislation we passed took a balanced approach that will deliver financial relief to our citizens and our businesses across Georgia. All, and very importantly, as the governor said, while protecting the rights of those with legitimate claims to be made whole. Today, we are balancing the scales of justice here in Georgia and ensuring fairness for those on both sides of civil claims. Now, throughout the interim, the House will take another look at something that's important, a close look at our state's insurance markets and premiums to ensure that our fellow Georgians and companies of every size have access to coverage and are not being subjected to unjustified rate increases. Governor Kemp, I want to thank you again for leading this effort. Bill sponsors, Senator Kennedy, great work, Representative Burchett, and members of the House Special Committee on Rules on Lawsuit Reform, and certainly the chairman that led that effort, Chairman Leverett, who conducted himself in those meetings in an open and comprehensive manner. And also every member of the General Assembly who prioritized delivering relief for the people of Georgia. Governor Kemp, I want to divert and thank you and the First Lady for attending the services this morning. Thank you so much for standing behind those that ensure our safety in the public safety world. Thank you for that. You're always the champions for our public safety officials. Thank you for all of you that are here attending this day. It's a great day to be a Georgian. It's a great day to be blessed by a good Lord. Governor Kemp.
Amen. Well, thank you, Speaker Burns, Lieutenant Governor Jones, Commissioner King, Pro Tem Kennedy, Representative Burchett, who's not here with us, both the Special Committee in the House and the Judiciary Committee in the Senate. We just appreciate the time you all spent on this legislation, and I know that is not an easy thing during such a busy time, but we're grateful again for everybody that's here with us for all your advocacy, whether you're in the General Assembly, in the business community, or a hard-working Georgian out there that needed some relief. We're grateful that we've been able to get this done. With that, we'll move over. We'll get the First Lady up here with us and move over and get these bills signed and get this thing into law. Thank y'all very much. SB 68. All right, SB 69.
Gentlemen,